Hi, this is Bruce, and today we're going to look at my workflow when I'm creating videos using Premiere. So I like to start off getting my ideas down as a shot list or a storyboard, how I'm going to tell my story or present my ideas. And so you can see here, my plan is to put together a little bit of an event video or a little bit of a video of a bike ride or one of the rides I've done. And I figured what I want to do is I want to start off with some sort of cold opener, kind of to pique people's interest, kind of a scene where we don't know exactly what's happening yet, maybe show some signage and things like that. Then show a video of a bit of the route, but we still don't know what exactly is going on yet. After that, I'll reveal something about the bike, so then we have an idea of what we're doing. And then after that, the idea is to get some shots of scenery. The fall colors are starting. Maybe some of the shots of what we see in the villages or in the countryside and things like that. I also want to shoot some B-roll stuff, maybe a little bit while I'm on the bike, but I'll probably go back out afterwards and do it. I might try to do some on-bike audio, but again, I'll have to go back out and do that. I don't want to take all my audio gear with me on the ride and try and do that and stuff like that. So we'll see about that. But possibly it's going to end up being better with a voiceover, add some soundtrack, maybe a little bit of a mini interview or some ideas about the biking and maybe kind of live and stuff like that. So that's the plan. So once I've got my storyboard, then I'll actually go out and shoot the video, do the actual production. And then when I come back, I'm going to have all my video footage. So here you can see I've got my footage and I've already named it, but essentially what I want to do is I want to open up and I want to just add something or rename the file so I know what is in the shot, so it's easy to go and find my shots later. So you can see in this first one, if we open it up, I've just gotten a little bit of signage so we can kind of give people an idea of where we are and what we're doing. And so you can see here I've got about 20 different clips that I can use in my video. And also during this stage, if I see I've got some video that's completely useless, I'll go ahead and delete that right away if I'm sure I'm not going to use it. But probably in the end, I'm only going to use 4 or 5 shots depending on the length of my video, maybe a few more if I do a little kind of a quick little sequence or montage within the actual event. After I've seen the footage, I'm going to go back and I might edit my storyboard, my shot list, kind of put things into order. But sometimes I'll just start to do that directly in Premiere. Next thing I do is take all my videos and import them into Premiere. So for the cold opener, I'm thinking maybe some footage along here. You can see I'm scrubbing back and forth, show the bike, show the road, show some footage. And I think maybe this little bit here is looking pretty good. So I'm going to set the in point. I don't want to get the pole in there. So I'll set the in point here. And then the out point just before we start to make that movement. So maybe right about there. Drag that into my timeline. And then I'll just check my sequence settings. So I can see it's at full HD or 1920 by 1080. And then looking at my shot list, the next thing would be possibly some signage. So come back to this one. And I don't need it to be too wide, maybe something like this for the starting point. And then we lose it about here. We got that movement. So I'll set the out point. Drag that to my timeline, and now I've got 2 shots worth about 5 seconds. And so that would be my cold opener. After that, I'm looking for something that will maybe give away a little bit what's going on. Go to something along these lines, which is the ride. So something like that. We've got about 10 seconds of footage. But then I'll probably speed this up a little bit. So let me drag that to the timeline. Yeah, see, that's very long footage. So obviously this clip is a little bit too slow and a little bit too long for what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is speed it up using speed duration. So I right clicked on the video track. Let me change it to 200%. And let me just edit a little bit. So now looking at it, I don't have to start right at the beginning. You know, maybe somewhere there. So Command K in order to, or Control K in order to do a cut, and then right click and ripple edit to get rid of that. So we can start there, and probably right around here is good. We don't have to go all the way to St. Combs. So again, Command K, and then I'm just going to hit delete to delete that one. And so now that I've got a few cuts, I'm going to bring in my audio so I can So I'm going to start it right about here and grab that. And I want my video is going to be about a minute long. So I'm going to try and find a good spot for getting out. Actually, maybe I'll just go to here. And we'll go set the out there and then just drag that into our timeline on the bottom. And now I can use this in order to set up the timing for some of my cuts if I want to. I'm going to put another cut in here, so I'm going to go back to this scene and show a little bit more. So I got a little slow motion footage here, something like that maybe. Let's see how long that is. Okay, let's take a look. And let me just take that slow motion footage, and I'm going to go into my effect controls. You can see when I filmed it, I was a little bit crooked. So let's see if we can straighten it a little bit. So I'm going to go in here, and on rotation, I'm going to start to rotate it. And it doesn't need to be perfect. But something like that's maybe looking a little bit better. And then I'm going to scale it in a little bit. And again, not too much so it gets too blurry. But I'm going to scale it in enough that we simplify it a little bit, getting rid of this tree maybe. Let me just see. Yeah.
So maybe just a bit more.
And then I'll just move the position a little bit. So for this, I can just zoom out so I can see the clip. And I'm going to click on position, and then I can bring it down maybe a little bit, something like this, and just a bit larger. And I like that combination of the slow to the fast. And so let's watch it one more time. Okay, and so now I'm going to get rid of the ambient sounds here. So I'm going to unlink all these so I can delete the soundtrack. Since there's not really anything of interest, although I'm going to maybe bring back in the Tour de France coverage. So I'm going to start here, and then I'm just going to drag, I'm going to remove the out point, if I can. I'm just going to set the out point over here. We'll see how this works. So I'm going to drop, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop it here, unlink it again. This time I'm deleting the video, and then I'm going to go like this. And I only want it to start maybe here. And then I'm going to go in and put audio gain. So I'm going to bring it up 12 decibels. You have to remember, though, that every 3 decibels doubles the volume. So I'm putting the volume up about 4 times what it is originally. Let's see how this sounds. Yeah, so I think that's not bad. So what I thought I would do is show you another little bit of a workflow, this time using the workflow tutorial video that I'm going to be starting to edit and hopefully get published for you sometime this week. So I'm just going to grab the video screen capture that I did yesterday. I'm going to pull that into Premiere by dragging and dropping it into the import media. And then if we open this up, I'm just going to drag it straight down onto the timeline. You're going to see why in a minute. And then I'm going to just bring this down a little bit and zoom in. And let's give a listen. Hey, this is Bruce. Hi, this is Bruce, and today we're going to look at my workflow when I'm doing... Hi, this is Bruce, and today... Okay, so you can see I've got a couple of false starts and some problems with the sound. So what I'm going to do is put the playhead here, Command K to do a cut, select these, and ripple delete to get rid of it. Now that I've got that first cut, I'm going to actually go and edit the clip in Audition, because I want to clean up my audio a little bit before I go through and make too many cuts. And so you can see here, on the top, I've got the waveform, and on the bottom, right, I've got the spectrum analyzer. And if we just zoom in a little bit, I can see my audio was pretty clean. I was using the H4n as a mic, but there's still some sounds that need to be cleaned up, some noises that need to be cleaned up, and I can see I've got some spikes in my audio. So first thing I'm going to do is normalize the volume to -3 decibels. And so if your audio is too low, it will bring it up. If it's too hot or too loud, it will normalize it down. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure that next thing I'm going to do is denoise it, so get rid of any extra noise. Then every clip ideally should be faded in and faded out. I'll do it on the first one just so that we can see it, but I'm going to make sure I zoom in first. And then I can just drag this in so we've got a little fade in at the beginning and at the end of every clip. Now that I've done those, let's take a listen. What I want to do is I want to start off with some sort of cold opener, kind of to pique people's interest, kind of a... That sounds pretty good. And so I'm going to Command S or Control S to save, and then I can exit right out of Audition. And now what's happened is in Premiere, it's imported the audio as a separate file. And in fact, if I look back at my files, you can see it's created the that second wave file here that we can use in our project. So now what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll find my next edit. Hi, this is Bruce, and today we're going to look at my workflow when I'm creating videos using Premiere. So I like to start off with a storyboard. Okay, so you can see here I made another false start, and then if I zoom in a little bit, I can see exactly where I'm quiet in Premiere, and then Command K or Control K to start to cut. So I like to start off with a storyboard. And you can see I have a little tick here, which is a bad habit. And then I take in a breath, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to cut here, and then I can just ripple delete. Let me just zoom out so you can see what's going on here. So if I just delete this, then I have to go and I have to move that over, which is not a big deal right now because I've only got one cut. But if I do ripple delete on this, then it gets it and it ripples all the cuts to the right or all the edits to the right back to fill in. So now if I zip back here. So I like to start off getting my ideas down as a shot list or a storyboard, how I'm going to tell my story or present my ideas. And so you can see here. So let's just make a cut right here, just so we can do this next one. So I'm going to go into the audition again, and I don't have to do the normalize or the denoise because I've already done it for the entire clip. But what I can do is I want to do that fade in and that fade out, so it's a nice smooth transition from one clip to another. And you can see here I've got this funny little smack. And so what I can do is I can come in here and I can see exactly where that smack is. And now I can grab the healing brush, and I'm using left bracket, same as on Photoshop, to change the brush. And I should be able to get rid of that smack on the keyboard just by taking the healing brush over top. So I like to start off getting my ideas down as a shot list or a storyboard, how I'm going to tell my story or present my ideas. So that seems pretty clear, pretty good. So now all I have to do is save this and then exit from Audition or just hide Audition. And then we've got a nice clean bit of audio. Hi, this is Bruce, and today we're going to look at my workflow when I'm... I hope this gives you another little view of my workflow or my process, and it might be able to help you out as well. So I think that's probably pretty good for today. I've shown you guys a little bit how I go from ideation and a storyboard or a workflow to shooting my video, to organizing my the video that I'm going to use and importing them into Premiere. And I've kind of shown you how I go about my edits, including syncing up with the soundtrack, using effect controls where needed, using speed and duration, and a few other things like that.